Hey guys, happy Monday, Damon. How are things, man?
Awesome, Kurt.
What
Doing
a
well.
beautiful weekend. No football this weekend. We got Super Bowl coming up, so not everybody could go out and actually do something without watching football.
Yep.
Skiing, hiking, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. So, guys, today we are absolutely honored. We are blessed. We are privileged to have our dear friend Jeanette Stevens. Jeanette, happy Monday. How are you today?
Happy Monday, Kurt. Happy Monday, Damon. I'm happy to be here. It's a great weekend. I'm an Olympic fan, so
Nice.
although there wasn't much football, there was the Olympics. So
Hey,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you for covering my back, Jeanette. What did you watch? What were some highlights for you?
figure skating, alpine skiing, free jumping. I absolutely love it. And I'm
Yeah.
really waiting for the Jamaican bobsled team
Nice.
to
Yeah,
make their debut. So this is going to be an exciting Olympics.
Yeah.
that's awesome. Of course, the Jamaican bobsled. That was a great movie. Came out, I think, in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
'90s with John Candy. That was, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe even the '80s. I don't know. Back in mine and Damon's day. So, yeah, the Olympics is full charge. I have a daughter that's a figure skater, so we love watching the
Oh.
figure skating. The skiing's been absolutely awesome. So, yeah, we might have to get a little USA chant going here before we
Yeah.
wrap up the program.
Seriously, right?
So,
USA.
Jeanette, you're man, you are doing a ton super exciting work that you're working on. So you're with GenEdge,
Yeah.
okay? GenEdge is the MEP, the Manufacturing Extension Partnership of the great state of Virginia, and you are the marketing and outreach manager, I believe, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. So, like, you're right in the front row seats of cool, exciting things going on with manufacturing. For anybody out there that's not familiar with this MEP thing that we're speaking of, could you please share with the folks what is the MEP network?
Absolutely. So the MEP network, or like you stated, the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, works with NIST. And what we do is there are MEP centers all across the country.
Mhm.
And it's specifically to help small and medium manufacturers in each location to basically innovate, compete, and grow. And the way we do that is through resources, through projects, development, funding where needed, all sorts of partnerships and alliances through education, educational companies, different government agencies. So, really, a network to help manufacturers get from point A to point B. So, if you're thinking like a small business owner has, the SBA,
Mhm.
the small business development agencies, manufacturers have MEPs.
Great analogy. And our dear friend Ray Zagano,
Yep.
he's in
Make it
Chicago.
simple.
He's super. He works closely with IMEC, the Illinois
Yep.
MEP. So Ray, happy Monday to you, my friend. Welcome to the program. So yeah, the MEP network, Manufacturing Extension Partnerships. There's one in all 50 states. Plus, I know we planted
And
one
Puerto Rico.
in Puerto Rico as well.
Yeah.
And so, if you are a manufacturer and you're like, man, I don't know about this, we strongly encourage you, invite you, welcome you. Reach out to your local MEP. The resources are amazing, what they provide. And as in Jeanette's, we're going to take a deep dive in a little bit of what's going on at the MEP network. But Jeanette, what I'd love to do is like share a little bit on your background. Now, I know, like, guys, connect with Jeanette on LinkedIn. Man, your superpowers are off the charts. You are, you deliver a unique marketing initiative for your clients, for folks that you're working with. You're HubSpot certified. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about like Google Digital Garage. But let's hear. I know you have your MBA. Share your story, your journey, and how you got to the MEP.
Absolutely. So, really, my journey started in New York City. I'm a Bronx girl, born and raised in New York City. I started my career at Yahoo. So, I
Wow.
started at Yahoo Hot Jobs, and back then it was called online advertising. So, I was really on the cusp of what is now digital marketing and what is now the new marketing space. And it was a really, really great time. It's really where I got my feet wet, so to speak, into innovation and tech and where search was going to go. I got to meet a
Wow.
phenomenal group of people, and the way we learned at Yahoo was, you didn't necessarily have to have all of the skills, but you had to be willing to learn. So we would literally take classes in between, our normal daily activities And a lot of those skills that I learned, search activities, Google keywords, SEO, all of that stuff, HTML, I was able to carry throughout my career. And it's really
Wow.
where I got that love for marketing, not just the creative aspect, but the technical aspect, everything that goes behind the scenes with marketing. And so my trajectory, and you can see that on my LinkedIn profile, is kind of unusual because I do start at Yahoo in New York City, and then I'm here in Virginia. So I moved to Virginia and I started working in logistics. And I did that for a number of years, but always at the client level. So even when I was at Yahoo, even though that was more marketing and tech, I still worked on the client level. So building account relationships, retaining account relationships, upselling account relationships. And I did that. I found that with the foundations that I had, I was able to move into different industries. So I started in tech, moved to logistics, worked on my own for a little while. I owned a small business called iSimplyAssist, where I helped small and medium businesses here in Virginia, and then on to GENEDGE, which is a manufacturing company. And then actually I did do finance. So I was able to move to different industries with the foundational background that I had, but my love was always in marketing. I never forgot those roots that I started at Yahoo. It pretty much carried on. Even when I was working in, the logistics industry, I was still helping people with SEO and website development on the side because those are just things that I've always loved to do. So I found that, I was able to carry all of that on. And with the love of not just doing marketing, but really helping clients to achieve their end goal. Because at the end of the day, I've always been able to utilize those skills to help clients, or even as a volunteer aspect, just to help a company get from point A to point B with the skills that I have. So that kind of led me to GenEdge, and all the amazing work that they're doing.
Right.
Well, and your wide variety of background allows you to really take an overarching look at it from a Gen Ed standpoint now and help these manufacturers, because a lot of what they need is really just they need someone that understands the big picture so they can go, okay, what's next?
Right.
What really should our path look like and what's next? And that's your background just lends itself so well to that. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Ray Zagano drops a nice comment here, Jeanette. He says, "Man, with that background, you could pretty much do anything you want!" Exclamation point. And I agree. And guys, if you're just chiming in, we're here with Jeanette Stevens. She's with GenEdge, the Virginia Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Please connect with Jeanette. Check out the GenEdge website. Awesome website. They have an incredible dynamic team. And as you're listening to this conversation, guys, like, this is just a taste of like what goes on with the amount of talent and skills behind the scenes at the MEP network. And I know a lot of manufacturers we work with, they're like, what is it? What is this MEP? They can't help me. Scott Shine, your teammate, we had the honor and privilege. We interviewed Scott last summer.
Yeah.
And Scott was a great, successful entrepreneur, had a great corporate career, got landed as an entrepreneur, built up a nice manufacturer, sold his company, and then all of a sudden saw his wife was going to kill him if he didn't get out of retirement. He ends up at GenEdge, and on our interview, Damon, remember, he goes, "You know what? I wish I knew the MEP when I owned my manufacturing operation." So Jeanette, let's take a deeper dive into your marketing superpowers. And again, guys, listen to what she's describing. My goodness.
Yeah,
you're a pioneer at Yahoo. You've covered finance. You've covered logistics. What brought your and you are so passionate, Jeanette. I mean, like, this enthusiasm is just so contagious. What brought you to GenEdge? Like, where was manufacturing even on your radar? Like, hey, I'm going to bring my marketing superpowers to the manufacturing world. How'd that look?
At the end of the day, it wasn't something that I was specifically searching for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say, now I'm going to jump into manufacturing.
Right.
It wasn't that at all. It was, I was working on my own, doing small business, helping small businesses with their marketing issues. And I was also helping nonprofit organizations as well connect with their customers. And, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, for me, it's always about the end goal for the customer. You know, I feel that I take everything that I have and I use that to help my client get to where they want to go. And I felt like, you know, I wanted to be able to validate those skills again in a corporate setting. So I started off with that. I kind of left it in my corporate career. I retaught myself everything about what was happening in marketing today. You know, what's happening in marketing today, what's happening as far as the tech side, analytics, you know, how are we pairing everything today? Put myself back in school, got into Strayer's MBA program. They had a digital entrepreneurship program, which was led by Cheddar. John Steinberg, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was the COO of BuzzFeed, was a amazing mentor. I worked with Charlene Walters, PhD. She wrote Launch Her in Her Entrepreneur. And I, you know, I got this amazing education and this outstanding experience. And I said, you know, I want to be able to utilize that on the corporate level again. So I started looking, and all of a sudden, you know, in my job search, I see this posting comes up, and it says, you know, how would you like to make a difference in Virginia's economy? You know, economic development. Yeah. And I started reading about it, and I'm like, oh, what is an MEP, you know, and how does that work? And I start thinking about manufacturing and how, you know, manufacturing is really the foundation of what the United States of America is. You know, it's what keeps us alive, you know, it's what keeps us moving. And from working at a logistics company, you know, with truck drivers, I mean, these guys and women are what, you know, keeps America this amazing place that it is. And I said, wow, you know, there's a chance that I could help an organization like this, you know, be even greater than it already is. And so I just felt like it was my mission at that point to try and get on board. And luckily, knock on wood, I was able to do that. And now in my role as the marketing and outreach manager, it's my sheer goal to make the MEP not the best kept secret anymore, you know, in Virginia. You know, speaking from a GenEdge standpoint and what we do here in the Commonwealth, you know, I want to make sure that small and medium manufacturers know who we are, you know, that they don't feel like an island. And a lot of times small businesses, it really doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can feel like an island, you know, with everything that's going on, especially with manufacturing today, with the supply chain issues, you know, workforce issues, technology is coming on board, you know, how do we fit that in? It's
Oh no.
Oh,
did we lose her?
Well, we'll wait. She'll be back in a second.
Oh my gosh, like this is so good.
Oh yeah.
She is so amazing, man. And I mean, this is just pure fire. So all right, guys, stick with us. Hopefully she's gonna be right back. Maybe we just had a little mishap, or maybe she just lost power for a second. So I will
but Jeanette, I mean, just thinking about her background there, and you know, we're today, if people didn't see, we're reviewing. I'm looking at my other screen here. Jeanette Stevens from GenEdge talking. Okay, here she's coming back.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. We filled in because we were just
you're on fire. Wow. So just if you want to pick right back up, this is so good, Jeanette.
Yeah, no, you know, and I do apologize because I talk with my hands. Maybe it's because I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah.
And I clicked something, but you know, that's basically it. You know, it's really the fact that I think it's important not for me to just work somewhere, you know, and to just do something, but I wanted to make a difference. You know, I wanted to make a difference, and manufacturing makes a difference. You know, we have to make sure that it's strong, and we have to make sure that it's powerful in every way that we can. And GenEdge is right there doing that, and all the other MEPs throughout the states. That's what we're doing, and it's my job to make sure that this isn't the best kept secret. Everybody needs to know about this. If you're a manufacturer out there, you need to know that GenEdge and other MEPs exist.
Yeah.
Jeanette, so quick question. What this is just a random question. I'm just kind of grabbing in thin air. What was your GPA at Strayer by any chance?
It was a 4.0.
A 4.0. So
yes.
Damon, yeah, like we really can't be on the same stage with
No.
Yeah,
we were close, Damon. We were close. We missed by a couple points, I think.
Couple,
we were like 2.0 or something. But anyway, so 4.0 MBA. Look at this passion. Look at this expertise. Look at this experience that Jeanette brings to the MEP network. And again, guys, Jeanette, you're off the charts. Every MEP around the country, this is what you're facing, guys. And I love it. Let's uncover a couple of things you just said, and then we're going to take it a little bit further. So many entrepreneurs are in a silo. They're on their own. They're dealing with labor shortage, supply chain issues. If I had hair, I'd be ripping it out, right? So they are totally stressed, and they can fall on a trusted resource, a trusted guide like your team at GenEdge, at the MEP, regardless of what state you're in, and sit down and have a nice cohesive conversation about help me with some of these challenges. What expertise do you face? So let's talk a little bit about your marketing acumen. So it's going to be a twofold question, but I want to start with, how is your approach with GenEdge? How do you help them stop being the best kept secret? I know you're aggressive on LinkedIn, Twitter. When you came into, and you just started last year, right? Was it in the fall that you started?
May. I started in May.
Almost okay. So when you started in May, talk about like your process when you came into GenEdge. Like what's been working? What are some, like, you don't talk the talk, you're walking the walk. What are some of the practices that you're putting in place?
So a lot of the practices that I'm putting in place is really understanding how to develop a brand, and not just develop a brand, but tell a story about that brand. So I start off with, really understanding who the company is, really understanding who GenEdge is, what their mission is, what their vision is, and taking that and creating a story over time with my branding and with the messaging. So I want to take visitors on a journey. It's really understanding what the needs of our audience is. What are they facing, and how can I connect that with what we have to offer on our side, because you don't want to just generalize what we can do. What I'd like to do is make sure that the communication is relevant to their needs and also valuable. So it's really taking a more customer-centric approach to the marketing process. And in each campaign that I launch, there's a strategy behind that. It's really a lot of planning. So I bring a lot of that to the role. Spending time in my previous positions, creating proposals and really thinking about, how I'm going to develop this funnel, and, really taking it from that point A to point B point. I did want to also inject that while I was at Strayer, I did interview for Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch. I went to California with a few other students, and that experience really taught me how to develop an MVP. And even though I'm not necessarily developing an MVP, a lot of the basic foundational ideas behind that, I use that in the campaigning process, and when I'm thinking about, how I'm going to deliver the message to the audience. But aside from that, I'm also looking at the reporting aspects. So that's where a lot of the Google stuff comes in. It's not just posting and looking at a lot of the vanity metrics, how many people liked or how many people are following, but it's really taking a deep dive into what they're looking at, what they're interested in. When I'm sending out an email communication, what they're clicking on, why they're clicking on certain things, and tailoring, iterating my message over time so that, once I get to a point where I fully understand the needs of the audience, then I'm delivering a message to them every time that I know is relevant, I know is valuable, and I'll be able to see our brand grow over time, which is what I'm seeing. So, from the start in May to where we are now, I'm definitely seeing where there is a low buzz, and the way I like to think about it is a puzzle piece. I always start off every marketing challenge as a broken puzzle. And I'm putting together all the pieces by, looking at the data, putting out the information, developing the strategy, having the conversations, and then putting those puzzle pieces together. So there's a low buzz. We're getting there, but that's kind of my process in a nutshell.
Man,
wow,
God,
that's awesome.
This is so good. So, all right. So let's keep this party rolling here, Jeanette. Share with everybody. Okay, somebody knocks on the door at GENEDGE. Let's talk about the menu a little bit. Continuous improvement, ISO. Let's take a deep dive. So I'm a manufacturer. Boy, you've really caught my attention. You had me at hello. Let's go a little bit further. Share with some of the talent. We mentioned Scott. I know you. She's no longer there, but you and I are connected through our dear friend April Schmidt.
Yeah.
Mike Levy. You guys have an incredible, talented team. Talk a little bit about what's on the menu at GENEDGE when somebody knocks on your door.
Yeah, so to reiterate your point, we have an amazing team, of individuals with so much background and experience. We have Nathan Sable, who is the IT cybersecurity practice manager. We have Cheryl Carrico, who is right now the program manager for the retooling program that we have at GENEDGE, for small and medium manufacturers that are pivoting into critical supply chain sectors. We have Dean Young, who's the director of industrial engineering. I mean, the list goes on, know, and these are the individuals that you as a small or medium manufacturer can come into contact with for assistance, So, I mean, when it comes to strategy and marketing and IT and, compliance, you name it, if it has something to do with manufacturing and getting you to a point of being able to solve some of those issues that you're having, we have someone in-house that can help with that. So.
Right. Absolutely. Very powerful tools, resources. And again, so, we have the honor and privilege. We've worked with a number of MEPs around the country. And what's great, we work with some different reps where the running tagline is, we want to work relentlessly that you don't pay for our services. So they do a great job of ears to the ground on what grants are out there, what programming, what funding opportunities are for manufacturers, whether robotics, automation, you mentioned cybersecurity. I know a number of your folks are veterans. I think Tony, I believe, is a veteran on your team. So, again, great talent, folks of integrity, and deeply passionate to moving the needle for manufacturers. So, Jeanette, let's keep our marketing hat on again, because we have the marketing guru on the stage today. So, share a little bit. Say, I don't know if you noticed, Damon and I are no longer youngest guys on the planet, right, Damon? So we're digital immigrants, So when you're if you are talking with a manufacturer or and they're a little bit, say digital resistant, if you will, I'll say that politely, right? What advice do you have for manufacturers on, why should they get into digital? How could they get into digital? Stop being that best kept secret. Kind of walk us through a little bit on how for us digital immigrants in manufacturing, how could we take that strategy and get that approach cooking?
Absolutely. And what I like to say is, in order to really, you have to look at where technology is going. It used to be where you can connect to your audience via direct mail or, even a television commercial. But
trade shows,
networking events. And I'm not saying that those things are dead, because they're not. Networking is extremely important, but you have to have a presence online. You just have to. I can remember talking to small and medium businesses, 2-3 years ago, and they all thought this is, social media guff. I don't really need to be on there. I don't know why I need to do a live and, video and that kind of thing. Instagram, who needs it? But then COVID-19 happens,
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And the pandemic showed us that if you didn't have some sort of digital footprint, you were almost lost, because now you had to try and find a way from the beginning, from scratch, to connect with an audience that's already been online, and you have to try to build this, whole entire presence from point A. So what I would tell a manufacturing company is that, yes, digital has to be in your package. You can include some of the traditional forms of marketing, because, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But at the end of the day, you still have to be able to connect with a wider audience online, because about 90% of folks are online at any point of the day. So you want to be where they are. You want to always be able to meet your customers where they are. And not just your customers, but potential customers. You never know who can come across your information. So that's what I basically would tell them.
Well, that is fantastic, though. That is great tips, great advice. So again, marketing, digital, that digital footprint is no longer a nice to have. It's a must to have.
It's a must.
It's a must to have.
Yeah.
And again, you're doing a great job. I see you all over the place. We've become fast friends on LinkedIn. I see you on Twitter, so on and so forth. Now, another thing that we love talking about, so Damon and I were blessed. We do these fun interviews. We meet amazing people. We had the manufacturing millennial on our program on Friday, and he did an amazing job in kind of preaching on why the millennial generation needs to get on into manufacturing, and also why the older generation needs to accept and embrace the millennial generation. So let's go into like diversity, millennials. What are you seeing as far as like what are you seeing as far as diversity goes in manufacturing? What advice do you have for manufacturers to help create a more diverse workforce?
What I would say, I would take a broad stroke approach and say that outside of diversity, you need people. And you have to be able to look at the entire talent pool. And you have to be able to be willing to look in places that you would not normally look for talent. You have students that, may or may not be interested in getting a college degree, but at the same time, they may or may not know that these positions are available. As an older person in manufacturing, you have to be willing and open to learning new things. You don't know everything. And you have to be willing to take a step back almost and say, okay, this person is younger than me. And so I'm older than they are, but they are saying things that I've never heard before, or they're saying things that sound interesting, and be willing to open up that connection and that conversation, and kind of, take down some of the traditional, I'm older, I'm senior, and you can't tell me anything, hat, and say, I'm willing to learn, And so I think that for everything, as far as, diversity, as far as the different generations, the generational gaps, it's a learning opportunity. And I think that, companies should be willing on a grand scale, to open themselves up to learning, learning about different diverse candidates, where they're coming from. You may have a position that's open and you're looking for someone with this college degree from a Big Ten school, or, a school that you can recognize, but there may be a candidate that's perfectly viable that didn't go to one of those schools. Maybe all they have is the experience or a couple of certifications, and could be, a good hire. So it's really just, kind of taking a step back from some of those mental blocks and saying, okay, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to open up the field so that I have, more, more opportunity to get more people, more opportunity to learn more, and therefore do more, and I see that that would be a very successful way to go.
Mhm. Oh man, I absolutely love this. And the thing is, when you look at our country, I know, we have challenges. We don't always agree on everything, but our country has such a competitive advantage. We are the only melting pot on the planet. And
Yes.
our diversity, if we could flip the script and make, not if, when we make our diversity a stronger competitive advantage, we're all in this together. And like, we can be just, not can be, we have been, we are, and we're going to continue to be just a dominant, prominent force
Right.
in manufacturing because of our diversity. It is
Yeah.
such an advantage that we need to take just full throttle on, and just again keep working together on this process and bring new ideas, new concepts, understand different culture, different so on and so forth to lend this. So Jeanette, that was phenomenal. Thank you for that answer. I'm going to flip the script on you a little bit.
Yeah.
You're talking to a group of high school kids. They're thinking about college. School's not for me. They don't realize, like, hey, there's welding, there's CNC. There's tech, there's computer jobs, there are accounting jobs, there's engineering jobs. There's so many amazing opportunities in manufacturing. Share, what message would you give to a bunch of high school kids that are kind of soul searching or looking for a career? What would you share as far as manufacturing goes?
I would tell them that, not only everything that you just said, as far as open positions and open availability in manufacturing, but I would really speak to what they would be doing in manufacturing and as a manufacturer, and how, like, I would really talk to them about, how valuable their position would be, not just to the company, but to the entire country.
Yeah.
You're not just making cogs and wheels and, bending things into, a circle shape or anything. But what you're doing is you're helping to keep this economy, this country running and competitive and innovative. And you're really at the ground floor of all of that. And within the manufacturing sphere, there are so many opportunities. So you're not just staying in one particular field and doing one thing. You can learn so many different aspects of manufacturing depending on where you are, no matter where you are, and helping to do some amazing things. You could end up welding in an aerospace company, and 10, 15 years from now, you could be helping to actually build an airplane, and taking that, or jet, anything. So what I would tell them is that the skies are the limit. This is something that is available to you, and you don't necessarily have to take a traditional journey to get there. You can go in with the skills that you have and continue to build upon them and be someplace, totally different than you were when you initially walked through the door. So you can take it from high school all the way to where you want it to be. But at the end of the day, you're doing something very, very important, not just for the company, but to the entire country and economy at large. You're keeping us competitive. You're keeping us moving. So it's a great thing. And I would tell them to really consider that, really think about that.
Yeah, that's incredible. You said it so well.
Moment of silence, guys.
Yeah.
It's lunchtime in the Eastern time zone. We're going to just kind of savor this moment with Jeanette. That was just drop the mic moment right there. Oh my God, Jeanette, that was so good. All right. I find myself speechless on occasion here, Damon. When you hear a speech like this. So, all right, here's what we want to. I want to be mindful of your time, Jeanette. I know you're super busy.
I'll just interject one thing,
please.
You said it, Jeanette. These kids can come out of high school. They have, first of all, our educational system, I'm going to rant for 10 seconds, has done a disservice to manufacturing and teaching these kids that there are jobs that they can have wonderful careers, that they can come out of high school and go into manufacturing. They can go into a technical school for 1 year, 2 years. Yeah. There's on the job training where they can learn things and then generate these careers that provide very awesome lifestyles, but we just need them to understand. And like you said, they can make stuff for SpaceX, for airplanes. They can make stuff for the cars that go down the road. It's just a myriad of things they can do and build wonderful careers around it.
And it's so funny because a lot of them are learning these skills secondhand, and they don't even realize that they have them. You see the kids with the AR VR headsets, and they're flying drones, and they're doing all these cool things, and they have no idea that they could take skills like that and they could actually utilize them, or hone those skills in a manufacturing setting. So it's just like you said, Damon, it's really from the school level a disservice because they don't know that this exists, and that brings us really back to GenEdge and other MEP centers, and how what we're doing, the partnerships that we have, the alliances that we're building is so important because it's going to help build that information and build that brand and help them understand that, hey, I don't just have to do this, but I can also be a manufacturer and be just as important.
Man, okay. Our friend Mark Hill, who's in Chicago, says, yes. So many opportunities in manufacturing for young people these days. Many of them who could never afford to even get into a hoity-toity university. Lots of bright young people out there who would be much better off in an apprenticeship in a manufacturer, going to college, coming out with 25 to 100 grand in debt. Mark, amen, brother. We agree with you 100%. Tons of opportunities. And however, let's throw on the kids in college. Guys, you get to college, you get your accounting degree, you get your technical degree, you get an entrepreneurship degree, logistics, whatever you get, engineering. There's enormous opportunities in manufacturing for our educated folks. It's for everybody. We need to throw away the collar concept. No more blue collar, no more white collar. It's where Americans making great products. Jeanette, last question for you of the day.
Sure.
What is your inspiration? Who inspires you? You brought the heat today. You dropped the mic multiple times. You are truly a gift. You are a blessing to the MEP network. And I'll stop on this. Guys, if you missed any of this, please go back and listen to this. Jeanette came into the MEP network and treated it as a cause. She treated it as a cause to make a difference. God bless you for bringing your talents, your skills, your energy to the MEP network, to USA Manufacturing. Who inspires you? What gets you fired up every day?
You know what gets me fired up every day is just the values that I learned as a child and over time. Really, my father, I lost him in July. He was, thank you, but he was a huge inspiration to me. My mother as well. I could remember my mom doing all sorts of things, volunteering and, going to the different schools. She started a program in an inner city school in Brooklyn. I've just always been around people that wanted to help and wanted to make a difference. I grew up in the church, and I had a grandmother that was cooking every Sunday, making sure that people ate and had meals. And it's just those values, and it's just that thought process that says, it's not just for the service aspect, but it's also just my world at large. I want to be able to make a difference, even if it's something small. And I want to be a part of organizations or an organization that is doing that. And so what fires me up every day is just really, the excitement that I see with my fellow coworkers. I see how hard everybody works. I see how much they put into everything that they do. I see Bill leading this, organization of amazing people that, every day work really hard to make sure that small and medium manufacturers in the Commonwealth know that they are not an island, that an MEP exists, that we exist, and we exist to help them continue and exist. And that fires me up every day. That excites me.
Man, how about All right, on three. How about a little USA chant for the Olympics, for the MEP
Yes.
network? You ready? 1, 2, 3.
USA.
USA. USA.
USA.
So, guys, this man, Jeanette, gosh, this
Thank
was
you.
so good, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So again, guys, please connect with Jeanette Stevens. Jeanette, I'm just going to be redundant. What a gift. What a blessing you are. Thank you for sharing your inspiration today with us. Damon and I are so honored. Manufacturing Monday motivation. Did Mark Hill just dropped a little USA in the chat box? Thank you, Mark.
Yeah,
Man,
Mark.
did she just bring Manufacturing Monday motivation or what, Damon? We couldn't have asked for any better today. So
thank you.
Connect with GENEDGE. Connect with your local MEP. For all of our manufacturers out there, young folks, take it from Jeanette, man. Pursue that career in manufacturing. Jeanette, hang out with us 1 second.
Yep.
Guys, go out there, absolutely crush it this week. Damon, this Friday, we have John Jantz on our Friday program, the author of Duct Tape Marketing. I mean, this guy's a Wall Street bestselling journal author, great book, so great guest. And Jeanette, you'll love this. Next week, we have a gentleman, Gene Jones. He's a veteran from at the Purdue MEP. He's going to be he's sharing the stage on Valentine's Day with us. So I've been teasing him about that. I'm like, he gets to share Valentine's with Damon and myself. So Jeanette, thank you for all you do. Guys, go out and have an awesome day, awesome week. And hang out with us 1 second, Jeanette, we're on the broadcast. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.